This video is not about Renault Kwid and not about the BMW 850i you are seeing either. Today we'll be looking at car buying mistakes you should try to avoid. I recorded this 850i few months ago, but just like the Audi Q8, when it was time to edit and post the review, I felt that the car was just unattainable for my audience and it would just be unnecessary temptation, so I kept the footage for future use, and now this is me making use of it. Now let me highlight a few car buying mistakes you should try to avoid while you enjoy visuals of the BMW 850i for, I don't know, inspiration maybe. Welcome to another video. The first mistake people make is not building a good credit profile before taking a loan for their first car. This is mainly due to the lack of information or just sheer ignorance. Your credit profile is that one factor which will determine whether your loan application will be approved or rejected and what interest you will be charged if you are approved for the loan. People with a bad or no credit profile at all are often seen as high risk by banks and often get a high interest rate than those with good credit profiles. The interest rate plays a big role in determining whether you pay 4,800 or 5,200 for the same loan. In a worst case scenario, your car loan can be rejected because of your credit profile. To show that credit profile is important, I have a friend who was rejected for a data router contract by CellC because he had no credit profile. The guy was earning just over 40,000 rands a month, so he could afford to pay 250 a month for a contract, but they said no because of the issue of credit profile. So if you know that you are planning to buy a car in the near future, it is best to start building your credit profile now so you can increase your chances of being approved for your loan and also get a good interest rate. Now one would ask, how do I build my credit profile? It's very simple. You just borrow money and pay it back on time as per your agreement with the lender. The lender must be a registered financial service provider though, not Bomashonis. You can do this by taking a credit card from a bank or the store cards people normally use to buy clothes on credit. For instance, Truworths card or the TFG card which people use to buy stuff at Markham, Sportscene and all the other shops that fall under TFG. The tricky part is that you should only use money which you can be able to pay back. Don't take a card with a buying power of 10,000 rands and max it out if you know you won't be able to pay back the money. I know a lady, and I'm not gonna mention who she is because she's definitely gonna watch this video and she's probably listening to me making this voice over right now. So she took a TFG card that had a credit limit of roughly 1,000 rands and used all the money in 2020. When it was time to pay back the money, she didn't pay. By 2021, she was owing more than 3,000 on that account because of not paying, and that tainted her credit profile. She's planning to buy a car soon, and I'm curious to hear what the banks will say when that time comes. So when you take up credit for the purpose of building up a credit score, make sure you don't use more than you can pay back. Mistake number 2 is that the cheapest car is not always the best car to buy because the aim is not to save money but to get the best value for your money. If you want to save money, just use public transport because you are much safer in a Quantum, in my opinion, than in a Kwid. So if you can afford to spend 170,000 on a car, it's better to rather get a decent pre-owned car than to spend that money on a brand new Kwid. Because I'm sure this thing could be beyond repair even if it collides with a ShopRite trolley. Number 3. You should avoid a balloon payment unless you know exactly what you are doing. A lot of unsuspecting first-time car buyers fall victim to residual or balloon payments because some dealerships are very dishonest and they just plug a balloon payment to your loan agreement without your knowledge, especially if you opt for dealer finance. This usually happens in most cases when you don't have a set budget, which is mistake number 4, and we'll address it in detail shortly. Let me briefly try to explain a balloon payment to those who don't understand what it is. A balloon payment is a portion of your car loan which is set aside when calculating your monthly installment. This makes the car more affordable, or rather the monthly loan payments more affordable. the car remains expensive because you have to pay back the money at a later stage. In simple terms, opting for a balloon payment divides your car loan into two portions, which we can call portion A and portion B. So if you take a 5-year loan with a balloon, you have to pay portion A in monthly installments for 5 years. Then at the end of 5 years, you then have to pay portion B as a lump sum cash, or refinance it if possible, or maybe just sell the car to settle the balloon. Now let's try to use real numbers as an example. Let's say you want to buy a 100,000 rands car with a 5-year loan and you opt for a 30% balloon. 30% of 100,000 is 30,000. So the bank will give you a 100,000 rands loan and divide it into two portions. Portion 1 will be 70,000 rands and portion 2 will be 30,000 rands, aka the balloon payment. You will have to pay back the 70,000 rands in monthly installments for 5 years, and at the end of the 5 years, you must cough up the 30,000 rands balloon, which is portion 2, as a lump sum. 30,000 rands sounds manageable, but it gets tricky when you do this 30% balloon madness on a 500,000 rands car, because 30% of 500,000 is 150,000 rands. Where are you going to get 150,000 rands cash at the end of 5 years? Number 4 is you must know your budget. If you go to any dealership right now and tell them you want a car, the first thing they'll ask you is how much do you want to pay? If you don't answer that question with one number, you are screwed, deeply penetrated, because that gives them room to manipulate you. So, Mr. Maluleke, how much do you want to pay for your car, sir? They even call you sir, not important, they just want your money. Now you'll be like, I want to pay around 4.5, but even if the installment is higher, it's fine as long as it doesn't exceed 6,000. That shows that you don't know your budget, and that's how you get slapped with a balloon across the face. 6,000? Oh, that's great, sir. You can take the Polo R line going for 503,000 rands, fully spec'd. I can speak to my F&I manager upstairs and negotiate a good deal for you, so you can only pay 6,000. Maba figure upstairs, but a balloon in it, and we are done to be finished. So make sure you know exactly how much you want to spend on your car. Don't give them a range, just give them one straightforward number. And that number should be the total purchase price, not monthly installment. If you want a 300,000 rands car, just tell them your budget is 300,000 rands. Don't talk about how much you are willing to pay per month.